Attention Steelers fans. An unexpected move is stirring up major buzz behind the scenes in Pittsburgh. And no, it's not just about the draft. A big name is involved, there's a mysterious vibe in the air, and a decision could shift the entire course of the season before the football even flies. Some say it's a done deal, others think it's just smoke to throw off rivals. And in the middle of it all, a legendary figure still hasn't given his final word. Oh, and there are whispers of bold draft picks that could shock everyone on day one. So if you're the kind of fan who doesn't want to miss a single piece of this puzzle, stick with us until the end. Smash that like button and let's break it all down. Now here's the thing, the buzz in Pittsburgh is heating up, and everyone wants to know, will the Steelers really pull the trigger on a quarterback in the first round of the 2025 draft? Well, according to Ray Fittipaldo, who covers the Steelers for the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette, the odds of that happening are pretty low. He dropped a comment on 93.7 The Fan saying there's maybe a 5 to 10% chance they take a QB early in the draft. In other words, not likely. And that's surprising, especially with all the smoke swirling around the uncertainty at the team's offensive helm. And that brings us to the name at the center of this drama, Aaron Rodgers. Yep, the veteran still hasn't made up his mind, and the Steelers are basically in waiting mode. The offer's on the table, all that's left is for him to greenlight it. But with the draft getting closer, the anxiety is growing. Rodgers' silence has created a vacuum that analysts and insiders are trying to fill with speculation. But here's the twist. Even with the "we're not taking a QB in the first round" vibe, the Steelers have been flirting with some of the top prospects in this class, names like Rodgers Sanders and Jackson Dart. They've done their homework, but according to Fittipaldo, that may be more technical interest than a real plan to spend a first-round pick on one of those guys. To make the puzzle even trickier, the Steelers hold the 21st overall pick, a very valuable spot. But they don't have a second-round pick because they used it to land DK Metcalf, a huge addition to the offense, but now the margin for error in the draft is tighter. They could use that 21st pick to trade up, trade down, or grab an immediate impact player at another position of need. So here's the dilemma. Even though quarterback is clearly the elephant in the room, Pittsburgh might be playing the long game, maybe eyeing the 2026 draft or holding out for Rodgers to show up and take over the offense like we know he can. The big question now is, are the Steelers making the right move by passing on the chance to find the next face of the franchise now, or are they playing smart chess thinking long-term? So what do you think, is this whole mystery going to pay off, or are we watching another drama with no happy ending? Drop your thoughts in the comments, because what comes next might make this story even more unpredictable. From the looks of it, all the buzz around Rodgers Sanders and the Steelers might be more smoke than actual fire. Ray Fittipaldo, who covers the team for the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette, put the brakes on all the hype and basically said, "Hold on, everyone," speaking with the folks at 93.7. The Fan, the reporter, said the chances of Pittsburgh spending its first-round pick on a quarterback are pretty low, like 5 to 10%. And even though the current roster only has 2 QBs, Mason Rudolph, and technically Aaron Rodgers, if he signs, Fittipaldo still believes the team's real priority lies elsewhere on the field. Yes, the Steelers have been checking out guys like Jackson Dart, Ole Miss, and Jalen Milroe, Alabama, among others. But the guess is the front office is more likely to go after a defensive tackle or even a running back before thinking about a QB. Unless, of course, some miracle happens and Rodgers Sanders somehow falls right into their lap at pick number 21. Then, who knows? What Fittipaldo's emphasizing is this: all the interest may just be a smokescreen. He pointed out that only a very small circle inside the Steelers facility actually knows what's on their draft board. So most of what's getting out is pure speculation, or as he called it, part of the classic lying season that always takes over this time of year. And even if Sanders or Dart are still available when Pittsburgh's on the clock, Fittipaldo doubts the team will pull the trigger unless absolutely all of their top targets are already off the board. And he, frankly, doesn't see that happening. Now, if Rodgers is gone before pick 21, the chances of the Steelers going QB drop even further, especially since this quarterback class isn't exactly thrilling. And if the franchise really believes Rodgers is coming, that gives them the flexibility to strengthen other areas on day one and maybe grab a cheaper, more developmental QB on day 2 or 3, someone they can stash behind Rodgers and Rudolph. Bottom line, The hype around the Steelers drafting a quarterback in the first round feels more like a window display than something that's actually for sale. Now, if this is just a tactic to mislead others, the Steelers deserve an Oscar. But if they're truly banking on an answer that hasn't even come yet, that's a risky move for a team that wants to climb back to the top. It's time for the front office to show whether they've got backbone or if they're still relying on luck. So hit that subscribe button to stay on top of every update about our team, because with how things are going, any move could be a game changer.